Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. You've tuned in to ALH Broadcasting, and this is Andrea L. Hines, your host for When Life Speaks. I'm glad you accepted the invitation to connect with us as we share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it's a blessing to your life, it just may be for someone else as well. So tag, share, invite someone, then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Andrea L. Hines, and you have tuned in to When Life Speaks right here on ALH Broadcasting. And let me tell you, I have just been sitting on pins and needles for the past week because I am so excited about the guest that we have on today. And she is a friend. You know, sometimes I have guests that become friends and friends that become guests. But this is just a wonderful, wonderful lady. She is a woman of God. She is a musician. She is a speaker. And for me, she is just, we have just laughed together. We have talked together. We've shed some tears. Over time. But let me tell you, she has a testimony of triumph that I want you to hear tonight, because actually, when I first started here on with When Life Speaks, she was one of my early guests that I had on, and she was embarking on something that was just absolutely what I consider mind-blowing, the way that God had moved in the situation that she was in. And she's going to share that with us tonight, and she's going to tell us about the journey, because it has been an incredible journey. And I am so glad that you're here and can be a part of it this evening. We have had a wonderful month. We have had a month where we have talked about testimonies, the strength of testimonies, why they're important, why it's important to share your story and your growth. We have talked about why people don't share their testimonies, and there are lots of reasons for that. But Cinnamon has come by tonight, and she is going to talk with us. I'm going to bring her in a moment. She left us as Cinnamon Ruth Leggett. She has come back to us as Cinnamon La Canela, and she's going to explain to us what all of that is about. But for right now, I just want to bring her in and tell her good evening. If you've got hearts to put up or fingers to snap or whatever it is you want to do to make somebody feel welcome, you go ahead and do it right now, because here is Cinnamon La Canela, and she is coming to us live from Puerto Rico. Good evening, lady. How are you?
Good evening. I am so well and so excited to be here and share. And I'm grateful for an opportunity to just be present right now. And actually, I'm in Puerto Rico, and you probably cannot hear the rainforest sounds, the concert that's happening behind me with the frogs and the crickets and the coquis and all of that. But I feel like we're all here participating in this moment every day at about this time, no matter where I am, whether it's in Puerto Rico or in California or in North Carolina or in Surf City or wherever I am. I pause, and this is something that I have learned to do. I pause and I bring forward the good things of the day. So I'd like to take a moment in the beginning of all of this to say, here we are at sunset, and every day is filled with things. Some things are good and some things are bad. Sometimes the percentage of good is great. Sometimes the percentage of good is very low. Either way, you have both in every day, good and bad. And we have an opportunity every day to look at the sunset that never fails, just like God. It never fails every day, whether there are clouds or it's sunny and bright. Right now, it's kind of cloudy and overcast, but that sunset is right behind me. And every day I'm reminded to take a moment and bring forward the good things that happened today. Now, this only works if you bring forward the things that happened today. So I would love to do that with all of you who are here with us tonight. Let's take a moment to say something wonderful that happened today, not from yesterday, not that's going to happen tomorrow, but today. I am grateful that today I am spending time with one of the most amazing friends that God could have ever granted me. I am grateful that today I made a drive down the mountain where I'm staying, and it was so amazing, and I was able to pause and enjoy the greenery around me. I'm grateful that a little sweet cat was waiting for me when I came out of the house this morning, waiting for a little bit of food, a little nibble of something. And there are many more things to be grateful for, but this is a practice that I do every single day. So today, this is my affirmation. Thank you, Dr. Hines, so much for this time that we're about to spend. I'm ridiculously excited.
Well, I tell you what, I am going to say as well, and I encourage my viewers and my listeners who are on the line, who can do it, to put something in the comments section in line with what Cinnamon was saying. I am grateful. I am grateful that I have been able to have a platform that will allow me to invite people that some may never hear of or hear about, who are doing absolutely amazing things to the glory of God. And Cinnamon was one of my first guests who came on, and we talked about that segment called The Power of One. And she started that because she was doing something so crazy, so crazy. But she knew she was doing it for God. And the power that was behind that and the journey that that has taken is something that I have been privileged to witness and now have the opportunity to share with you all tonight. So that is for me, for me. Now, we have to be very careful. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have to be very careful because when Cinnamon and I get together, there is a possibility we can talk into next week. Now, I just want you all to know that because at some point I'm probably going to go, oh my goodness, look at the time. And you'll understand perfectly why that happened. But I wanna just dive right in to what was called and is still called Worship Puerto Rico. Worship Puerto Rico. And this started in 2018. I had just started When Life Speaks. And like I said, Cinnamon was one of my first guests. All of her travels and all of the things that she has done and been into in terms of her journey are absolutely amazing. And I wish that I could touch on all of them tonight. I do want to. Cinnamon is an amazing, amazing musician, and we have collaborated on a number of pieces where she has played and I have spoken poetry to her music. I do not want to forget to have her talk about that tonight before we get off the air. But I have wonderful people on the line. Bernice Nikayeta out of New York is on the line. Francina and Linda Ida from right here in North Carolina. Bernice is down by the in the Atlanta area. Let's see who else we've got. Yeah. We got a lot of people coming in, and I want somebody to volunteer to help us with time.
She is not lying. We just
let me know. Let me
yes.
when it gets to be 7:45, because we're gonna have 5 minutes after that, Cinnamon. We're gonna shut it down. We're gonna be good tonight. We're gonna be good. Uh, oh, Bernie says she's grateful that she saw her son yesterday. Victoria says she's grateful to have a productive day at work and make it home despite being a high paying day. So we're always praying for Victoria and put her there. We're believing God for pain free days for us all, that God will
Indeed.
do what he needs to do. And Cinnamon, I hope you do have your light handy, your lamp handy, because I can tell that it's the sun is getting ready to set, and we don't want to miss you. But let's start 2018. Cinnamon took a journey. She took a journey alone, and we were talking about it the other day, and we were calling it a chick and a check. That's what we had dubbed it, chick and a,
Yes.
because that's how it started. This young lady had a check and went on a journey to Puerto Rico. Tell us about it, Cinnamon.
That's right. So in 2017, this huge hurricane named Maria struck Puerto Rico. A church in North Carolina, at the time I was leading worship there in many churches, and a church in North Carolina wanted to help Puerto Rico. So they actually called me to participate in a benefit concert. That benefit concert, they wanted to send the money, use the funds to send the money to Puerto Rico to help. They had a representative in Puerto Rico, so I was just coming there to sing. Their representative fell through. They knew that my family was from Puerto Rico. And about 2 months later, they called and said, look, the representative we had fell through. Would you be willing to take this to help your family in Puerto Rico? That started, some questions in my mind. Of course, the answer was yes, I will take it. But then I needed to know if my family, who needed the help, because I wanted to be responsible with the money that came in through the church. So I had never been to Puerto Rico, even though I am Puerto Rican. I was born in the Bronx. My parents are of the half of the children that were born in the States. Half of those siblings were born in Puerto Rico. So I'm technically the first full generation born in the States and had never gone back to Puerto Rico. My mom made a phone call to a cousin I had never met and said, my daughter's going to go to Puerto Rico. Can she stay with you for a little while? He did not know why I was going to Puerto Rico. I kept everything a secret. And it was just wisdom. It wasn't that I knew that I was supposed to keep it a secret or anything. It was just that I was trying to be wise. I didn't want people to know that I had all of this money, because I know that need sometimes can speak louder and it can just become a little hectic. And so I decided to be quiet so I could really assess and discern where the need actually was.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out I never found, I didn't find family that needed help. They actually did pretty good. So I had all of this money that needed to go somewhere. And my cousin, at that time, I did tell him about it. And my cousin said, look, let's just take a day of rest. You're not sure where this money is supposed to go to, but let's just go see Puerto Rico. So in the going, which is important, I tell this part of the story every time. In the going, God revealed who that money was supposed to go to. And it was a beautiful woman in a place named Loisa. Piñones is the neighborhood. And I gave her the money that day. I'm trying to keep this short because, we can go on and on.
I
So
know.
I gave her the money. We cried. I knew it was God. My knees were shaking. And it was the start of one of the most amazing journeys of my entire life. Remember, I didn't know or understand my full roots. I only knew the roots that had been passed down to me as a New Yorican, but I didn't know what it really meant to be a Puerto Rican from the island of Puerto Rico. And I say that respectfully because many people don't have an opportunity to go back to the origin. Many people don't have an opportunity to go back to the beginning. But I was given an opportunity to come back to the beginning, to come back to the place where my family came from. That obedience, bravery, faith, all of it turned into an incredible journey. We are well known across this island now. We've been operating for 8 years. We started as a nonprofit. Once things really started to get busy, I knew I had to establish a nonprofit. Started a nonprofit in North Carolina, and things just exploded year after year. But I didn't even see that I needed to keep going every year. Every year I wanted to put it down. This is really important in this part of it, because I don't think I've told people this before, but every single year I wanted to put it down. I wasn't sure if it should continue. I was treading very carefully. God, should we continue? Should we stop? And before I knew it, the project was moving faster than I could even answer the question, should I keep going? I couldn't leave it by itself because it was moving.
That's right.
And yeah. And so year after year, that same scenario, every time we'd come home, I'd be like, all right, God, well, am I supposed to continue? Until finally last year, I knew we in it to win it now. We are in it. This is it. This is like a marriage between canela, la canela, which we say in Puerto Rico, pa que tú lo sepa, which is just so you, it's like a little sassy way of saying, just so you know, my name is La Canela. So we're in this thing, worship Puerto Rico, and I and God. And I love to say this respectfully. The ancestors here in Puerto Rico are like, you are not putting this down. And so we now have a lawyer who has now helped us reestablish, which is super exciting, because Puerto Rico's government is different than the states, even though Puerto Rico, by the way, guys, is a part of the United States. For those that are not sure, we are citizens, but there are some nuances that are a little bit different. For instance, Puerto Ricans don't vote, but Puerto Ricans pay taxes to the state. So there are some things that are kind of different and strange. But there's a Puerto Rican government, much like the states have their own sort of government. And so it was important that Worship Puerto Rico established newly in Puerto Rico this year. So we obtained a lawyer because I had no idea how to navigate that. And we are now fully established here. We have a seal and a symbol. So here in Puerto Rico, because of our history of being ruled by Spain, we use a lot of these seals, like these royal seals and emblems. And so Puerto Rico has a seal. Worship Puerto Rico has a seal now. And yeah, we're
Wow.
moving forward. And it's been amazing. And there are a million stories. But every single year I watched God just make it happen. And God did not make it happen before. God made it happen in the going. Every single year was the same way. God did it the same way. In the going, I will show you. Just keep going.
Let me tell you something, Cinnamon. That is so, so important. And as we listen to others' testimonies that have been on the program and things that have happened, we are always reminded, whether someone says it out loud or whether we know because of the journey and the road that they have traveled. God is always there. He's always
Mm-hmm.
navigating. He is always constructing and reconstructing. He's always orchestrating the next. We're waiting for the next. He's orchestrating the next. And I like the way that you put it. It's in the going.
Mm-hmm.
In the going. Angela in South Carolina, for her program Whole and Beautiful, she said it's not about the destination. It's most definitely about the journey. It is about the
Mm-hmm.
journey. You have got to keep going. You can't stop, although you want to sometimes, although because you are unsure sometimes, because you have not been that way before sometimes. It puts you at a place of kind of being anxious, which we're not supposed to be, and
Yes.
being fearful, which we're not supposed to be, but really, I think to be able to go as a single person to a country that you really have not been to,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
to share your gift of music, and then to go back the next year with 12 people, And how many was it last year that were a part of this?
Every year we have had between 12 and 15 volunteers.
Hmm.
This past year we went with a smaller group because it's really an important part of this story. In the very beginning, we sat down and tried our best to make a plan. I looked at the census across Puerto Rico. I knew how many municipalities there were. I knew how many families existed in Puerto Rico. I knew how many families existed in each municipality, in each city. I knew which municipalities were hit the hardest, and we had a plan. We were going to go to the cities that had were the hardest hit from the hurricane first. However, one of the hardest hit communities was inaccessible for 8 years to us. For the first couple of years, it was inaccessible because of damage. For the
Hmm.
last 3 years, because we just went this year, for the last 3 years, it was inaccessible because we didn't know how to get there. So on the side of Puerto Rico, on the east side, is a little tiny island called Vieques and another little tiny island called Culebra. And the function of these islands, they are part of Puerto Rico. They are a city, but they exist across the highway of the ocean's highway. So you have to take a boat to go there. Culebra was the hardest hit during the hurricane. And we tried. That was where we wanted to go in the very beginning, but we didn't know how to stay safe and do it. We didn't know somebody there. We just didn't have the resources to make it happen. And this year we were able to do it. And what I told the team this year was it took us 8 years to get to the first place that we dreamed of.
Wow.
8 years.
Wow.
It was, and I told them I'm going to write this book called The
Yes,
Eight
you
Year
are.
Journey. The 8 year journey. It took us 8 years. I mean, we wrote that plan out and we were hoping to get there the first year, but we couldn't. So when my feet touched Culebra this past April, I was beside myself. My mind was blown. We had 40 doctors. We had hospitals from the States, hospitals from Puerto Rico. We had pastors from the Episcopal Church, pastors from the Methodist Church. I mean, the dream was to bring everybody together under the idea that we should never lose anybody. So no matter who you are, whether it was the government, which we had the mayor and all of his staff there. We had the government, the hospitals, the churches, the community all together under one umbrella that we were going to help Puerto Rico survive the next hurricane.
Absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
so because of the logistics of going to Culebra, we kept our team this time to six, but that's because we had to take a plane from wherever we were in the States to Puerto Rico. And then remember, it's always been in the going. So some of the stuff I learned when I got to the island in April. We had a choice of taking a little tiny plane, which everybody was like, no, it's this little plane that rides right above the ocean like this, to take the little plane or take the boat. So there were just a lot of logistics involved in that. So we took six. That is a long answer to your question, but it was important to tell you. We took six this year, but next year we're going to go back to the 12 to 15 people. And I'm definitely not ready to go above that 12 to 15. So if you're listening to this right now and you want to go, make sure you send something to us. You can send me a personal email on Instagram. Worship Puerto Rico has its own Facebook. You can send a message there. Just look it up, Worship Puerto Rico, and send me a message there and let me know, because I'm not going to increase the number because the work and all the logistics are really challenging. And it was enough to try to construct and do everything for 40 doctors this time. So, anyway, 12 to 15 is my number right now.
Do you have Cinnamon? I'm going to ask you this because we are losing you because of light. Do you
Oh,
is your lamp close to you?
yes. Give me one
Oh,
second.
see if you can get your lamp on, because I don't want to turn this into a radio show because we want to still see you. And Nikayetta,
Okay.
thank you so much. She's keeping up with the time for us. Um, I want to
So are you
switch.
able, I have a light on me. Are you able to see me at all?
Yeah, I can still see you, but you're
Oh,
going to be
okay.
fading. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then
Uh,
we're okay because the light is let me put this back up here. The light is directly on me, so the background will go, but I won't go.
Okay, great, great. I want you to, we're going to shift gears here, guys, because there's something else that Cinnamon is doing that is very, very important. And I don't know if there's a way to shorten it except by simply saying what you are getting ready to do. So I want her to give you this little sneak peek with something that is happening with her music. And trust me, she's going to come back. This is not the only time that she's going to be with us. She's going to come back because there's so much more to what she's doing, and God is just so strategic in every piece of it. So tell us quickly about the music.
Yeah, so I want to start by saying that it has been such an honor for all of the years that I led worship in the Carolinas. I started leading worship in the Carolinas in 2008. Pastor Wilhelmina Leggett gave me a chance. I've always sung, but I didn't play piano, and I certainly didn't do these two things together. And in 2008, she decided to take a leap of faith, and I barely played How Great Is Our God, let me tell you, and sang it at the same time. And so I'm really grateful for that season with her, because that then thrusted me into many, many other opportunities in many churches until eventually it had been 10 years and I had been leading worship all over the Carolinas, playing piano proficiently. And it was then in that season that Sean told me, Cinnamon, because I was looking for a piano player. I said, God, I'll sing whatever you want me to sing, Jesus. If you just provide me with a piano player. And I never was provided with a piano player. And one day I realized that I was the piano player. And I cried. I said, well, God, how am I supposed to do that? I could barely play How Great Is Our God. And anyway, I decided to just believe it. And I kept practicing and kept playing. And this is important because fast forward, I play multiple instruments now. I play guitar, I play piano, I play Latin percussion. I started to learn upright bass. I play many instruments now. But when this Grammy opportunity came to be, it came very fast, very, very fast. I got an email and they said, Cinnamon, you are eligible to submit for a Grammy. And I was like, what? Jump on this meeting, they said. We want to tell you about this. So I jumped on the meeting and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I wasn't sure what I was going to submit, because while I've done a lot of work, I have a couple of really amazing recordings, but some of them don't belong to me. So I couldn't just take that song and submit it to the Grammys. I've been a part of other people's work, but I wasn't sure what I was going to submit. And I thought about it and I prayed about it and I contemplated and I talked with friends and I talked with Sean and I just said, what should I do? And in my quiet time, I knew that there wasn't going to be a big band. There wasn't going to be this big salsa band that I perform with now, but it just needed to be in honor of where this all started with the Father. It was just going to be me and that piano. And so once I made the decision, I knew that that's what I needed to do. And in my going over the last year, I met a guy who has a Grammy Award winning studio, but I didn't really know how his work was, and I hadn't really listened to a lot of his work. And I decided to give him a shot. I said, hey, do you have some time in your studio over the next 2 weeks? And he said, yes, I have some time next Tuesday. And it happened that fast. And I have a small window to submit to the Grammys. And he got it all done. And when we were done with that, again, in the going, I don't know why God chooses to do it this way. I hope you guys can still see me. Just the background is dark. Okay. But in the going, after that recording was done, I've been working with a lot of musicians in Puerto Rico. But again, to pull a bunch of musicians together for a quick recording is like, that is just hard. It's just hard to pull a bunch of people together with a bunch of schedules. But I made one phone call, and a producer here in Puerto Rico said, We say in Spanish, no te preocupes. Don't worry. I got it. He called a bunch of musicians. I sent him my composition. It was a salsa composition, which required a lot of instrumentation and some charts. He paid for everything, and it's all done. And I go in tomorrow actually to finish the voice. The thing is that people don't know this about the Grammys. We think after you've seen somebody with their million followers, then you can submit for a Grammy. Not so, because I don't have a million followers. I probably have, I think, 750 on my Instagram. So there is this misnomer that these systems are greater than we have the ability to achieve. It is a complete misunderstanding. You are able to achieve these things once you know and understand the system. And because I had gotten that approval, I've been a part of the Recording Academy for 2 years, but as a student. I submitted my student work 2 years ago, and the Grammy Recording Academy took me in to mentor me. And that was how this opportunity opened up for me to now submit to, this week is when I'm submitting. And it's just amazing because I would have never imagined that I was going to be able to submit for a Grammy, get these songs recorded and send it off. And it's not even out yet. Because the way the process works is they go outside. It has to be released before. I'm taking all the magic away, by the way, for all of you. The way it works is you have to release your song before August 30th, but you submit now. You send them a link to your music. You tell them that it's going to be released before August 30th, and it goes through the process into the board and all the things. So things that seem crazy and impossible, they truly are not. It is just our fear in getting through the process that keeps us from doing those things or looking for the answers that we need. So that's the first song is Beautiful Sunrise, myself behind piano. And the next one is called Sangre Latina, which is a song that talks about the blood of a Latina. And it says, my name is Cinnamon. In Spanish, it is. My name is Canela. And I come from California. I was born in New York, but I've come back to Puerto Rico to get my inheritance, which are my roots here in Puerto Rico, encouraging people from the diaspora of Puerto Rico to come back and know and understand who they are in the world.
Boy, look, I want to say this right here. If there's anybody listening to Cinnamon and about her journey who still has the contraction can't in their vocabulary, I don't know how you're maintaining, because this is to go from a situation where you hardly know how to play one song to a situation now where you're in a place where you are submitting music for consideration for a Grammy. You can't convince me that with God all things are possible is not true. You'll just never be able to convince me of that. Right. Cinnamon, I want to ask you something because you're getting into
smaller and smaller and smaller.
You're getting smaller. Look, I thank you. I thank you so much because I want to do you justice and I want to do your stories justice. And I say stories because there's so many things that you have been through that we have not even touched on. One of the testimonies involves the move. I know when I shared my testimony, one of my greatest pivotal moments and life-changing moments for me was relocating here to North Carolina, and you relocated out there to California, which started another entire journey for you that we haven't even touched on tonight. So I want you to promise me that you'll come back.
I will.
That you'll come back, because there's so much more for us to talk about. There's so much more that has happened. There's so much more that you can share, because we are about strengthening, we're about growing, we're about understanding the goodness of God on a deeper level. with everything that happens. This testimony month has been just incredible in terms of the people that we've heard from, what their lives are like, and what they are going through. So I appreciate you, lady. I thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'm I don't even know how to end this because I keep coming into
Wait,
you.
are we out of time? We're we're out of time. Oh
We're
my
not out of
goodness.
time. Out of light. We're almost out of light. We've got one listener that says, "Come back because I want to hear more." Testament to the goodness of God. Here's another person saying obedience to the voice and instructions of God. Congratulating you on your Grammy nomination. We're claiming it a win. So we're gonna go through with that. But when will you be back to the States? Because you're still in Puerto Rico now. When will you be back to the States?
Yeah, so I'll be back in the States July 29th. I'll
Okay.
be back in California. And I'm starting, I still have a lot of school that I'm doing. So I start a program August 18th, 19th, something like that. My travels will kind of calm down a little bit so I can focus in on school. And then I'll travel back to North Carolina around the holidays to be with my family. And then probably back to Puerto Rico. But the next Puerto Rico trip will be with everybody, will be in March.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm back. So right now I am going to run a camp next week with children in Culebra, the little island in Puerto Rico,
Oh,
on the
nice.
side. I'm going to go play music for them and teach them some songs that they can perform in a little concert at the end of their camp. So I'm headed to do that next week. And yeah, this week has been filled with recordings and just taking the time to take a deep breath. I lost my dad last week, so that's been very, very hard. But God is still good, and I needed a moment to reset, and so that has been possible. And yeah, so I will be back in the States on the 29th of July.
Let me tell you, this is the oddest thing because this morning when we did our 8 at 8 this morning, and some of the listeners are on the line who were on there this morning, and we were talking about refocusing, resetting, and restarting. And here you're talking about having that opportunity to reset.
Yeah.
One thing that has not happened tonight, so you have to come back. It is not optional. Uh,
Okay.
Cinnamon
With
and I,
light.
yes, we'll do. You know what we'll do the next time, Cinnamon? We'll record when the next time you are away in Puerto Rico, and we record and try to catch that mountain background. We're going to record during the day, and then
Okay,
we
sounds good.
show it at in the evening, so we won't lose you in the light. But Cinnamon and I have done collaborated on a number of things, and sometimes it pops up every year. A piece about the father-daughter dance, which is just it was an amazing piece. But I want you all, listeners and viewers, to be able to enjoy Cinnamon's music. And I've kind of talked to her about it, and I said I wanted her to do something specifically for When Life Speaks, for us to be able to listen to and enjoy. She has such a beautiful, beautiful voice, and her musical, and I call it musical genius, because anytime you can go from not playing one instrument well to playing several that you're now, clicking off, is 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 an is an amazing thing. And yeah, and now I do guitar, yeah, and I do bass, I do that, and so I want you to be able to enjoy part of Cinnamon's musical journey. So we're going to figure out a way to make that happen, Cinnamon, and you'll just come back and bless us in amazing ways. I will keep everybody posted as to when Cinnamon is going to be back and share some more. We don't need a month of testimonies to be able to bring her back under the power of one, so that she can share with us all of the things that God has been doing. When we say He is an amazing God, let me tell you, this young lady right here, that's a living testimony. That's a
Indeed.
testimony. Cinnamon, what kind of words of wisdom or encouragement would you like to leave with our audience tonight?
Sure. You know, we've thought a lot about faith in our churches. We've thought about it, we've studied it, we've tried to understand it. But when you move outside of the safety or the, that safe place called the church, you come in and you learn what you need to learn, but then you have to start putting into practice things outside of the church. And when you do that, you really many times get to see God in action. You get to see all that you've been learning in Sunday school, in Sunday church. Now it's all put into practice. And what I have learned is that there is so much more than what we can actually see. I'll leave you with this. Something called sympathetic resonance. And if my family's on this tonight, they're laughing because I talk about this all the time. Sympathetic resonance says that I could have a guitar in my hand, and there could be a guitar on the table next to me that no one's touching. And I pluck the string of a G. I pluck a G string. And if I pluck it and both guitars are in tune with one another, in other words, there's a G string on the other guitar, when I pluck this string, the other guitar is going to resonate. Nobody's touching it. It's all by itself. It's called sympathetic resonance. You can try it. I experimented with this, and it really happens. And you can do it with violins. You can do it with a guitar and a conga, which is what I did it with. But I have learned so much from that simple little sort of scientific thing. And more of what I've learned is that I can't see or understand why that second guitar resonated, but it did. So now I know and understand through many lessons like this that there's so much more to this life than we can even imagine. There's much more to it than what we can see. And we've been trying to figure out what faith is, but it really is when you let go of what you can see physically with your eyes, touch physically with your hands, experience physically on your person. It is beyond that. That is faith. There's way more to this life than what we can see. And that is faith. And that journey, when you begin to see a little bit, it is such an incredible journey because like it opens up a whole world. It's like looking at the top of the ocean and not realizing that there's a whole nother world underneath the surface of the sea. It's like that. And so I would love to leave everyone with that tonight. Don't worry about what you can see, because there's so much out here that you cannot see. Just use your faith to access it and activate it.
Absolutely amazing. Cinnamon, you know how much I love you.
Love
I
you
thank
too.
you so much for being with us tonight and for sharing. I am we're giving an advanced praise and thanks for what God is going to do through your music, through your journeys that are coming up. And I tell you, there's no, when you give him a yes, we say it all the time, God will do the rest in phenomenal ways,
Indeed.
phenomenal ways. And these testimonies and these things that we share are to let everybody know. Let me tell you, there's greatness in each of us. There's something that God has planned for each of us. Say yes and get ready to experience him in the going, because it will be like nothing you have experienced before.
Indeed.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to slip you back in the green room. It's almost dark, but don't you go
Bye,
away.
everybody.
Oh, what an evening. I am so grateful. for Cinnamon and for her being willing to share her journey with us tonight. I thank you for being here. I thank you for your wonderful comments that you made. We're going to continue. We have two more programs where we're going to center on testimonies. Both of them are powerful, and I pray that you will come back and be with us. So next week, I look forward to being here at 7 p.m. Come on back. Come on back. Turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive so that when life speaks, you speak life. Good night, everybody.